is pushed up against the couch.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to teach her. She knows she's not supposed to be up here.
Mm-hmm.
She pushes it all the time.
No, boxers are great dogs.
Oh, she's the best.
They're full of energy, but they're great dogs.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first Greek athletes trained and competed in the nude. The Greek word gymnazo actually means to train naked. The word gymnastics also has roots in Latin. The Latin phrase gymnasticus means fond of or skilled in bodily exercise. Gymnastics as a sport has been around for 2,000 years. The ancient Greeks practiced gymnastics as a way to prepare for war. Activities like running and jumping, along with throwing a discus and wrestling, were used to prepare the young Greek men. Boxing was also used, and all of these activities helped develop the muscles needed for hand-to-hand combat. Additional fitness practices used by the ancient Greeks included methods for mounting and dismounting a horse, and a variety of circus performance skills. The ancient Greeks also trained their young students in gymnastics as a part of their education. While the ancient Greeks practiced a form of gymnastics that included stretching, swimming, and running, modern gymnastics began in the late 1700s. Two pioneer physical educators, Johann Friedrich Gutsmuth and Frederick Ludwig Johm, created exercises for boys and young men on several apparatus they had designed. Frederick Johm became known as the father of gymnastics. He designed and introduced the horizontal bar, parallel bars, balance beam, side horse with pommels, ladder, and vaulting horse. In 1811, Johm created a school to spread the word about gymnastics. Around this time, Gutsmuth introduced more credited, bringing this sport to the, it cut off part of my speech. That's okay, I don't know what happened. He did not bring that to America. That's why it looks wrong. Gutsmuth introduced more rhythmic gymnastics in Sweden. Dr. Dudley Asm Sargent is credited with bringing this sport to the United States around the time of the Civil War. In the early 19th century, educators began using gymnastics as a part of their training programs, and in the early 20th century, the armed services began using gymnastics and producing drill manuals featuring all kinds of gymnastics. By the end of the 19th century, men's gymnastics was popular enough to be included in the first modern Olympic Games, held in 1896. However, up until the 1950s, gymnastics in the Olympics included such things as synchronized team floor calisthenics, rope climbing, high jumping, running, and horizontal ladder, just to name a few. Women first started to participate in gymnastics events in the 1920s, and the first women's Olympic competition was held in the 1928 Games in Amsterdam. However, the only event to compete was synchronized calisthenics. Combined exercises for women were first held in 1928. Then, in the 1952 Olympics, the first full regime of events for women was in competition. By 1954, in the Olympic Games, apparatus and events for both men and women had been standardized in modern format, and scoring standards, including a point system from 1 to 10, were implemented. The initial point system for artistic gymnastics was based on one score, with 10 being the highest. This changed in 2006 when a two-part system for scoring was introduced. The first score is the difficulty score and is called the A score. It is based on the various elements in a routine and how hard they are to perform. The B score is the execution score and is awarded based on performance of the skills. The B score is similar to the previous scoring method with a top score of 10. The A score is a tally of difficulty and can be changed if a gymnast leaves out a skill or doesn't properly connect two skills. The B score is where the judges determine the skill of execution and rates the performance. Modern men's gymnastics events are scored on an individual and team basis, and presently include the floor exercise, horizontal bar, parallel bar, rings, pommel horse, vaulting, and the all-around, which combines the scores of the other 6 events. Women's gymnastics events include balance beam, uneven parallel bars, combined exercises, floor exercises, vaulting, and rhythmic sportive gymnastics. Gymnastics involves the use of physical strength, flexibility, balance, control, power, agility, and coordination to perform a variety of exercises. It is one of the oldest sports in the world, and it has evolved over thousands of years to become the sport it is today.
Very good.
And then these are my my pictures. They're very little.
Mm-hmm.
So this one obviously is not real, but can you see it?
Yep, I can.
A little blurry. It's just a great visual. It's fun to look at because I coach gymnastics. Oh, whoa, I'm very big. I coach gymnastics, and in that picture, it just had a lot of things that remind me of modern day gymnastics. And then there's this one. Can you see this one? With all the, yeah. And it's just crazy to me that they, let's see. And then I have one more. Never mind. It is not popping up. Oh, well.
That's okay. It's more visuals than I had. So.
I have 4, but whatever. Yeah. The A score and B score, though, we have an elite program at our gym. And these girls, they changed it. But the way it used to work is they would train from like 10 a.m. and then they would have a lunch break. It's like an hour or 2. So it'd be like from 10 to 1. And then they would train again from like 3 to 5. And then we have regular girls at the gym. One of our elite girls that was in that intense program competed against a regular girl at our gym. The elite girl fell like 5 times, fell off of the apparatus. And her score was still incredibly higher than the girl in our gym that didn't fall at all.
Really?
Just because her form when she was on the beam and the level of skills that she was doing and just the way she did it, like she connected the skills, it was so much better. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
But it makes sense. If you're performing something that's more difficult, you know, even if you fall, I mean, it makes sense that you're falling.
Yeah.
Because that particular meet, I remember she could have beat everybody, but she kept falling. But it's incredible. Even though she did fall like 5, that's ridiculous, right? 5 times.
Yeah.
Still swept. She still won. You just could have done a lot better.
Yeah.
Could you see my hand movements when I was presenting? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was trying to, I didn't know how high to go because I wasn't watching myself. So.
No, you did a really good, you can definitely tell how passionate you are about it.
You have to be.
Yep. And I learned a lot about gymnastics. I won't make fun of it nearly as much in the next Olympics.
It's hard. It's so hard.
Yeah.
We're going to have our future kids do gymnastics just because it's the greatest foundation. I think that's what I'm going to talk about in my persuasive speech that we have. Whether or not kids should start in gymnastics.
Yeah.
I mean, the only cons I can think of are psychological and physical if you stay in gymnastics. But if you start in gymnastics,
yeah,
you don't really get hurt.
My niece did gymnastics and it did a world of good for her.
Yeah. Did she stay with it?
No.
But you don't.
No, she quit when she was about 10 or 11.
Yes. See, and that's what we talked about. Our kids, when they're 10, they can come to us and let us know. And if they want to at that point, fine. You know, just stick with it for a while. It'll lead you into so many other things. I wish I never did it. I wish I did.
Yep.
She's obsessed.
He misses mom. She wants to spend time with mom now.
Yeah, I can only hope. Sometimes we try to get her and she just runs right back to the pigs. Okay. Well, thank you, Carl, for meeting with me.
You bet.